Good morning from Africa Digital Parliamentary Summit here in Lusaka in Zambia. I'm here together with John Kamara. He's the founder of the AI Center of Excellence. Good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning, Akim. Thank you very much. Happy to be here.
Thank you. Thanks for joining us. Look, we talked a lot about AI yesterday. So how do we balance AI innovation with data privacy in Africa's health and manufacturing sectors?
I think the healthcare is a very sensitive industry that you mentioned. Manufacturing is an industry that has a lot of IP and, but the innovation that AI brings, I believe, supersedes, the risk currently. But at the same time, the risk is real. So having to regulate something that you don't completely understand becomes a problem or stifling the innovation that you need and the adoption speed you need to move really fast. So my view is always, how do we understand what this technology requires of us? What can we do on day one? And how do we build sandboxes to understand the various guardrails that we need to put in around is it trustworthy? Who built it? What is the bias of it? What is the ethical construct? What is the morality ratio of the person who developed and how? And also, does it marginalize people who are not, in a specific type of sector? So once we can understand those things, really get deep down into it every time we try to deploy this thing, it means that we can repurpose and also realign those things to make sure that they fit in a way that would actually be very viable for human consumption and also is not negative. And the same thing in manufacturing industry as well. So the policies that we make, shouldn't be about, we need to stop this thing. No, it should, because this had a lot of power, healthcare specifically. So our policymakers, which is why we're here today, need to be trained about their own contextual nuances so that as they look at AI, they look at it from a lens of possibility, yes, problem, but how do we navigate both without losing the opportunity?
So it's more about first building the foundation of knowledge?
Yes, I would say knowledge as a service is a critical element in this continent. We were talking about it earlier. I think knowledge is so underrated. And to give people capacity, if you have people who are domain experts in a place, now, if you give them capacity of what AI can do in that place or how it can do things, imagine the amount of knowledge they already have. And they can lay on top of AI, then it becomes human-centered value for, what we're doing. So knowledge is a critical thing that we need to do. We need to reskill people.
All right. So from your sessions, what were the key AI concerns voiced by the Pan-African Parliament and other EU bodies?
I think the first thing was privacy. Everyone was about data privacy and, where's our data going? And also, is AI going to take our job? That was actually the major concern. Is AI going to take our jobs? How are we going to learn this AI? And that is AI going to take our job is a consistent theme, and especially if we don't have a lot of jobs. How is AI going to take our jobs? Because that's what we hear from the WEF report and all this. So my answer to them is, if you do nothing, it will take your job. So you have to do something, and you have to see that it's an industry. AI is part of life. It's not technology. It's a part of life. It's in everything that you do. So you can't get away from it. So life has changed.
But it just changed faster. It accelerated way faster.
The speed at which it's changing. So also means that the speed of thought, the speed of decision making, and the speed of action also has to change. And this is all the learnings people have to understand, that the speed at which something is moving means you can't spend 6 months debating what to do. Because in 6 months is what you change the game.
Makes sense. So what do you think how Africa can truly democratize AI adoption and not creating another digital or technology divide?
I think for us is, again, skill. We always talk about we have people, right? We have people. But the question is always, what is the quality of the people that we have? So quantitative against qualitative human capital. So with AI, there's the opportunity to redress that and bridge the gap to more qualitative human capital. So which means skilling people can be faster, can be quicker, can be much more progressive. So we need to change our academic thought processes. We need to even change programs that we do. Funders and donors need to change how they think. traditional ways of doing things, a lot of it is not that it's not good, but it needs to be reformed so that AI is an inclusive part of life of how we actually train this next generation. So skilling and reskilling is two critical ways to democratize not just the adoption, but the development, then also developing AI funds ourselves. We need to put our money into this thing.
So would you say we need a more conservative assessment of AI before we really, let's say, jump directly on the train?
The train is moving. There's nothing to be conservative about. It's not waiting for you to assess it. It's like, bye-bye, I'll see you when you're ready. So the cost which will cost you, that's why I said the speed of action and the speed of thought has to align with the speed at which the technology is moving. So we don't have a choice to be conservative. The choice we have is how do we align ourselves with the speed at which this thing is moving, and how do we take the opportunity of the potential trillions of dollars is also going to be, but also how do we become better regulatory frameworks, but not just regulatory policy implementation. So we worry too much about policies. You know, we came from a data policy 4, 5, 6 years ago in Africa, lots of African countries. Then AI happened. Everybody packed the data policy, AI policy. And now the AI policy, how are you going to implement that? Because there's no clarity of how you're going to implement this thing.
And you're probably not even in charge.
You're not, because somebody else funded you to do the policy. That's another conversation. So you know, implementation plan that is live, no matter how small it is, that's what we have to do. And it has to be driven by it. Doesn't mean we can't have supporting actors who support us. We work together in the world. Like the EU is great for really trying to be the governance framework body for AI because it's important. Trustworthiness is important for how we look at AI. But if we don't finance AI with some of our money, we're back to the same conversation.
So we need to take control. We have to create our own AI or our own, let's say, language models. I mean, we have over 2,000 languages across Africa.
We need to begin to be bold enough to build some type of foundational, very high-tech AI solutions. One, either we build small language models, or we build AI models that basically solve problems that we can resell to the rest of the world. And it's not like the spray and paint, let every startup build. No, we have to have a different type of strategy where it's focused on how do we build 5, 6 amazing companies in a country that could do X.
Understand, hear you. So what would be one immediate action step you would recommend African nations to take?
Implementation plan. Find something that you're really good at. First, reskill people. Everybody over 40, reskill them. Your government enterprises, reskill them. AI for efficient governance. There's very simple things we can do to remove corruption by using AI. Okay, and then more importantly, education, our curriculums, our university, domiciling knowledge in these places, our professors. We need to reskill our educators. Teachers can't teach what they don't know. And then we reform the education system and then look at specific sectors where policies can help us win really, really fast. Then we create partnerships that align with a symbiotic relationship.
So we're back to the foundation of knowledge.
And knowledge is everything. Without knowledge, I mean, if you don't know what you don't know. So people can tell you what it is and you believe it, but if you don't have core knowledge, you can't even know that maybe I can find a different way of doing something you told me is extremely expensive. Because when people tell us AI is extremely expensive, yes, it's expensive, but if we investigate further ourselves, we could find ways in which we could also do amazing things without the amount of cost that it costs people to do it in the US, because the cost of talent in the US is way higher than in Europe. So that also means the cost of AI is higher. So when people tell you these things, you need to also reference the context where I am. What can I do here at the cost that is a bit lower than, because I'm not in the US, the cost of an engineer is $200,000-$400,000 a year. I can hire an engineer for $50,000. That means I can already save $250,000.
So we remain optimistic.
There's no choice.
Perfect.
There's no choice. It's our continent.
Thanks for your time. Thanks for the conversation.
Thank you very much, Akim. Much appreciated.
That was Tech Africa news from the Africa Digital Parliamentary Summit here in Lusaka. You can find more on techafricanews.com.